Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone is having a great Thursday. Markets were down a little bit today. We'll look at all that, but the main story we're going to talk about today is Marathon. Record quarter for them. December ending production wasn't too bad. It was actually kind of average here what they've had in the past month, so not a huge increase there. But there are some interesting tidbits that we want to get into as well as far as immersion cooling as possible. We'll look at all that, and then we'll take a look at the markets. S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, and BTC, Ethereum as well. We'll see what happened there today. And we'll look at the miners as well. None of them hit a new 52-week low today, which is kind of good. It's a couple of days in a row, which is nice. And that's pretty it. It's going to be an easy day. So as always, not financial advice. For entertainment only, do your own research. Don't fall for scams. And I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out. Okay, so let's take a look at the markets here. So S&P was down today 1.17% to 3,808. Dow Jones was down 1.02% to 32,930. NASDAQ was down 1.59% to 10,741. And what spooked the market was the jobs data report came in stronger than expected. For that reason, the markets were down today. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick. Bitcoin on the daily chart, we have an hour left in the day for the trading on it. It's at 16,833 right now. It's down 0.06%, so it's kind of flat today. Not much action going on there. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that the RSI has come down a little bit. Not much. Last time we were here was back here. Price was lower, so that's a good sign. Looking at the 1-hour chart, RSI has come down here a little bit. Last time we were here, also Bitcoin price at that point was just slightly lower. If we go further enough back, it was still a little bit lower there, so still a good sign there. Okay, Ethereum on the daily chart is down 0.46%. Still an hour left in trading. It's at 1,250 right now. Not too bad. It's down 0.5% almost roughly, so it's not terrible, but it's not great either. RSI has come down. Looking at the 4-hour chart, RSI has come way down. Even though price has been pretty flat here, I think this gives us more room to run up. We saw this happen before here, where price was kind of flat from this point on, and RSI fell, and then we had a nice little rally here again. So I think that's going to possibly repeat if that happens. Then looking at the 1-hour chart, we can see here also price has been flat for the most part, bouncing up and down a little bit, but RSI has been coming down. Last time we were at 51, was back here. We were lower. If we go just to this point here, we were also right about the same price, if not just slightly lower. So that's a good sign too. Now, as far as the miners are concerned, they were kind of a mixed bag today. Annie was down 0.807% today to 27 cents. Argo was up nicely again today to 33.33% to $1.60. They've had a huge rally here ever since they provided the information that they're selling their Helios facility to Galaxy Digital. They are up in the last, let's take a look at the last couple of trading days here. If we look at the peak here, 355% in the last 7 trading days. I don't understand why it's going up so much. They give up a lot of growth potential with Helios facility. They did get out of debt somewhat. That has helped them out, but they are going to be, having their machines being hosted. So that is going to have a little bit of an impact on them, depending on what electricity price Galaxy can get for fixed pricing. So there's still a lot of unknowns on that one. So I'm surprised it's running the way it is. Bit Digital was up today 6.85% to 78 cents. Bitfarms was up 2.29% to 52 cents. CleanSpark was down 1.37 to $2.16. Core's Q was down 41.18% to 6 cents. DigiHost was down 0.28% to 50 cents. DMG was down 18.72% to $1.11 cents. Greenidge was up today 8.01% to 39 cents. Hive was down 1.11% to $1.78. Hut was down 6.56% to 90 cents. Iris Energy, why did that Hut, let's go back there. Hut was down. Iris Energy was up 3.13 to $1.32. Marathon was down 7.35 to $3.91. It had a nice little rally yesterday. Mawson was up today 12.39% to 38 cents. It's having a pretty nice rally too here for the last couple of days. Riot was up 8.76% today again. $4.22 is where it's at right now. Soluna was up 4.44% to 37 cents. TeraWolf was down 10.05% to 72 cents. And that rounds out all the miners. So kind of mixed bag in the miners. Markets were down again today. Not again, but down today. They were up nicely yesterday, but down today based on the news of the jobs report. Keeping stronger, like I said. So we'll see how tomorrow comes in. The CPI data, I think, comes out next week. So we'll take a look at how inflation is heading and what that might lead to the Fed deciding whether to raise another 50 basis points or maybe go down to 25 basis points. But we'll look at it then. Next is the Bitcoin network hash rate. Let's see what's going on here. You can see, yep, still continuing to climb. It's still at 271 million. I think hasn't changed much from yesterday. Yesterday was a late video, so I think this is going to change a little bit later. If we look at the 1-day chart, yeah, we can see I actually came down here a little bit to 242 million. So we'll keep an eye on it. Machines are still getting plugged in. Marathon's got a lot that they're going to plug in. And let's take a look at Marathon while we're talking about them. Okay. So here's Marathon's news. Marathon Digital Holdings announces Bitcoin production and mining operation updates for December 2022. There is their path to 23 exahash. I can't pull this up for some reason. It won't enlarge. I think you can go to their website. You could probably pull it up there. Let's see here. They achieved a new record in quarterly BTC production. They produced 1,562 BTC in Q4 for them. And so that's a nice record for them. So hopefully this continues going forward. Coming down here, let's look at some of the commentary here. So in December, we expanded our agreement with Applied Digital to deploy roughly 12,000 S19 XPs. These are the 140 terahash miners, which are approximately 30% more energy efficient than the prior generation of servers, talking about the S19Js. At their Jamestown facility in North Dakota, this site is already constructed and operational, and our expectation is for miners to come online within the next month, so potentially this month. In Garden City, installations of miners remain underway as we now have roughly 2.1 exahash installed and pending energization. So they could get to, I don't know how much that's going to be. 12,000, you're looking at, what is it, almost 2 exahash here, potentially. Continuing on here, we also took proactive measures to strengthen our liquidity position and enhance the performance of our mining fleet. Given the macroeconomic uncertainty heading into 2023, we decided to fully pay down outstanding balances under our revolving credit agreement. So that's good news there. They are paying down their debt because they did have quite a bit. A lot of it doesn't get due until 2026, but it's still nice to get some of the stuff paid down. This freed up Bitcoin that was previously held as collateral, so that's good there. Increasing our unrestricted Bitcoin holdings from 4,200 BTC as of November 30th to 7,115 BTC, approximately 129.3 million. As of the end of December, we finished the year with 103.7 million in cash on hand. So that's good. That's great news. More debt that can pay down, the better. And then during December, we tested overclocking and underclocking servers and began researching dual phase immersion cooling systems. So that's kind of cool that they're getting into that. We'll see what they can do with that. And as we enter 2023, we remain confident in our ability to scale Marathon into one of the largest and most efficient Bitcoin mining operations globally. We have thousands of miners ready to be energized over the coming months, which we expect to more than triple our current production capacity to approximately 223 exahash by mid-year. We'll see if that actually pans out. They had pretty high expectations for this year, but for last year, for 2022, they didn't pan out as well as they thought, but they did double their production nonetheless. So that was at least good there. So highlights for the month are 475 BTC produced. Let's see here. 69,000 active miners currently at 7 exahash. And then we got 2.1 exahash waiting to be energized here. And then depending on Applied Digital's energization timeline, the company expects to have between 12 exahash and 15 exahash online by March 31st. So first quarter of the year of 2023. That would be a nice increase. That would be double where they are right now if they got to 15. They reduced revolving borrowings from 30 million as of November 30th to 0 as of December 31st. So they paid down 30 million. That's good. And unrestricted Bitcoin holdings on December 31st were approximately 7,150, which we already covered here. So that is also good news there. Total Bitcoin holdings increased to 12,232. They continue to hodl their coins. Now, technology update. In November, Marathon began an immersion-cooled pilot project which involves submerging Bitcoin mining servers in a dielectric fluid to determine if the company can improve the efficiency and or performance of its operations. We have a number of companies already doing this. We have, I believe, we know for sure Riot's doing it. We also know that CleanSpark is doing it. There might be others as well. I think Argo is doing it, something like that with their Helios facility as well. So there are companies that are getting into it. The big question is how much of their hash rate are they going to actually transfer over into immersion cooling? They have a lot of machines, over 100,000 machines. That's going to take a while to get those converted over into immersion cooling if they go that route. But we'll take a look at how much of an increase that would be if they did all their machines. So we'll look at that. And then in December, Marathon's team successfully increased the hash rate of an S19J Pro by 20% while reducing its power draw on a per terahash basis by approximately 4%. So that's great. 20% is really good. I think is a pretty good baseline to where you want to shoot for. Now, at 100 terahashes, that would get them to 120 terahashes on those miners and a slight reduction in energy consumption, which is great. The company also increased the hash rate of an S19 XP by 20%, marginally increasing the number of joules per terahash from 21.5 to 23.7 joules per terahash, which isn't too bad. But at 140, you're increasing that to, what is that? 140 times 1.2, you're getting to 168 terahash at that point. So that would be also a tremendous nice increase for them, especially since they do have a lot of those machines. Okay. And I think that is minorization. We talked about that a little bit. Path. Yep. So that is it. Overall, good, I would say good last quarter in 2023 for them as far as growth is concerned. And let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them on my spreadsheet. And we'll get into all that. So shares outstanding currently calculated as market cap divided by stock price is 116 million shares. They currently have they have 7 exahash installed. They're getting to 23, so they are 30% operational and 230% growth left in them. Now, with the 20% increase from overclocking and immersion cooling, could increase hash rate to 27.7 exahash. We'll take a look at how I figured that out. I'm not going just by the 23.14 and multiply by 1.2 to get it. It's actually looking at the individual miners here to see what they would be at. And here's that table for it. So this table here shows all of it. Let me zoom this in for you guys maybe. So this table is a replica of the table for all the miners that have reported purchasing. Then all I did was multiply each one by 1.2%, basically a 20% bump in hash rate increase, and then calculated that. So that's how we got 27.7 roughly, 27.5 you could almost say, exahash that they could get to if they converted all of their machines over into immersion cooling and overclocked them a little bit. Okay, so that's where we're getting the information, so you guys are aware. Now, as far as their BTC production here is concerned, you can see here they had a really great month in October. 615 BTC were produced. Then November was 472, and then December, slight increase up to 475. So it kind of looks like their average here going into the winter months. We'll hopefully get an increase here in January and February, as long as we don't get any major winter storms or anything like that that would derail that possibly. Now, as far as their BTC per exahash efficiency, they had a really great month in June, but that was based on their, their hardened facility was coming offline at a certain point, and their hash rate went way down, and then it's based on the average. So that one is kind of an oddball one here. It's more in line with the 97 to 100 here. But you can see that has been coming down here as well towards November, December to 67 and 67 in both months recently. Okay. As far as their numbers are concerned, so 475 BTC mined, that gave them about 8 million in revenue, roughly. It was an increase of 3 BTC more from November, and they didn't sell anything. They hodled 12,232 Bitcoins, which are valued at 204 million right now, potentially. In December, no new machines were plugged in, nothing was energized, so that all stayed the same. They were only mining for 18.6 days to get them to the 8 million and change here. So almost half the month they were shut down, whether it could be for the weather-related events or just curtailing it to save on electricity pricing possibly. You can see here that November was pretty close to that as well, 18.27. So it seems like we'll see if this is a trend that continues or if they can actually get that increased. It would be nice to see that increase because then that way they can produce a heck of a lot more. If they were mining for the full month, they would have been at almost 13 million instead of the 8 million. Not sure if they're getting credits for the electricity or not, but if they are, that at least makes it worthwhile somewhat. Okay, so there's the numbers there. Institutions did decrease by 1 here to 300 from 301. Shares also decreased a little bit here, not too much, about 30,000 shares from 44 million to 43.97 million. And percentage owned also decreased a little bit to 37.63. Now, as far as buy ratings, we still have the same amount, 2 strong buy ratings, 4 buy ratings, and 3 holds. Price target stayed the same at $20 for the high. Average was $14.73, and the low was $8 for them. Okay, so there's all that information. We already covered the miners here, how much they could possibly go up if they do immersion cooling. So let's see, analysts are saying $20 for the high to $8 for the low. I have them currently at, based on the last 3 quarters, which we were looking at, which are already reported and finalized. The current quarter is still in question. We don't know if that's going to be the exact number, but hopefully we're going to get pretty close to it. So total combined estimated right now is about 117 million for the last 4 quarters. And 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at about $10.08 to 75% net income from gross revenue. We're looking at $15.12 with a P of 20. Given that they are going to be growing quite substantially, we know that in the past, we'll see if history repeats, but in the past, they were a much higher PE ratio than 20. They were closer to like 35, 40 at one point when they were up to close to $80 a share. So even if they go to 25, we're looking at 1890 on the high end to 1260 on the low end, possibly. But we'll see where that goes. That all depends on Bitcoin and where Bitcoin goes. Okay, let's see if there's anything else I wanted to share with you guys. I think that is it on it. We can take a look at their production here really quick as well for the year and see how that's stacked up. There it is. Marathon right here. No, that's Mawson. Marathon's right here. So they started out the year at 462 BTC, and they fell down to 360 in December or in February. Then they went up to 436 in March, almost 300 in April, 267 in May. Then June was 140. July was one of their worst months, 72, and that was based on the hardened facility going down. August started to improve a little bit, 184. September, nice improvement here, doubled almost 360. And then October, another double, almost 615. And then they went down in November and December. So we'll see how January, February, and March come in for them, whether or not they can continue to increase that and get a little bit more efficient on it. Okay, as far as hash rate, they did start out the year at 3.4 exahash, almost 3.5. They got up to a high of almost 3.9 in May, and then they had the problem with the hardened facility, dropped back down to 700 petahash. They sold off that facility and the miners there along with it towards, I think, August, September, sometime around there, and then they started getting back on track here a little bit. 3.2 in August, 3.7 in September, almost doubled that in October to 7 exahash, and then they've been stuck at that for 3 months. So that's kind of where we're at with them right now. If you look at their average for the year, let's see here, their year-to-date average hash rate was about 4 exahash. Year-to-date BTC mine was 4,144, and their average BTC per exahash for the year is 103. So kind of on the lower end here. We're still waiting on some of the other guys to report, but we do have Bitfarms at 145 that has reported already. We have, who else do we have here? CleanSpark, 133. That one's not reported. That one, DigiHost did report. That one's 137, so that's pretty good. DMG has not. Who else has? Riot. Riot has reported as well. Riot is 103. So, sorry, Marathon is 103 also. So Marathon's a little bit ahead of Riot on that one, just slightly. And that is it. We're still waiting for whoever we're waiting for. Argo to report for December. Bit Digital, we're waiting on Core to report for November, December. I think they're going to possibly not report going forward, which is a shame. We could possibly find out what they mined going through their Twitter account, which they post there every day, how much they mined each day, and go through that. But we don't have as far as where their exahash is each month, how much they sold. We don't have all that information. So Core, unfortunately, might get removed from here, at least temporarily. We'll see if they can get back on track. And then we got DMG still has to report, Greenidge, Hive, Hut 8 as well, Iris Energy, Hive. We really want to see what they sold as far as BTC is concerned back in November. They were omitting that from the report. So hopefully we'll get that cleared up, or if they report something for December, maybe we can figure out with the math on that one. Hut 8, Iris still has to report. Mawson has to report. Soluna is another one that's kind of lagging behind here. They haven't provided their November numbers yet either. Same for December. If they might be one on the chopping block as well, at least put on pause for the time being. Then we got Sphere and TerraWolf as well to report. So we still have quite a bit of miners to report. When they do, then we'll look at them all for the monthly comparison on those guys. Okay, so that is it. So far, great job by Marathon growing the way that they have, at least in the last quarter here. They've kind of flatlined a little bit. We need to see more growth from them, which I think is going to happen in the first and second quarter of this year. And then that'll be really good. The only other thing is the immersion cooling. What's the timeline on that one? Is there going to be a project that they're going to plan out for, once they get everything installed? Is that something that they're going to transition to slowly over the next year and a half, 2 years possibly? Kind of nice to know, but we'll see. We'll find all the information out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. I think that's it. Yeah, like I said, overall, good quarter. Wasn't the greatest. They we're able to improve, which we want to see continued improvement, and then we'll see how they do this quarter. Okay. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. And then also, as always, the spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there. Thank you to everyone here watching. Love you all. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.